Hey guys, so in today's video I wanted to share with you my tips for getting motivated to study difficult topics, which right now my difficult topic is chemistry, but also just ways that you can make studying easier when you are trying to study something that is definitely not your cup of tea, definitely not something that you truly enjoy. For me right now, chemistry is on that list because we are studying very difficult content in last module and the module we're currently working through. So I have definitely had to pull on some of these techniques to get the motivation to even like open the app to start doing homework, or to open the digital textbook to even start studying. So I have notes down here, so if you see me looking down, that's why I wrote a bunch of notes so then I can try to help myself stay on track. So I'm just gonna get right into it. My number one tip is to figure out why it is that you're procrastinating, why it is that you don't want to study. So is it because the subject is boring? Is it because the subject is difficult for you? Is it because you're just overwhelmed and you don't know where to start? A lot of times, trying to get motivation is very difficult when something is just overwhelming you. I get this way with my algebra and math. Anything related to math is just automatically overwhelming for me. It's something that I really don't want to do. And so you have to figure out why, and sometimes figuring out why can also help you develop more skills to overcome that procrastination or that aversion to studying. So the next tip would be to study the content that you don't like or that you're having problems with in smaller chunks. So that could be you choosing to do a certain number of chunks per day. So a chunk could be like 5 questions or 10 questions. Like for example, for my chemistry homework this week, we have 3 different sections of homework, and each section this week has 11 questions per section. So you know, if you're trying to do smaller chunks, because like I said, my chemistry is definitely difficult this week, I could, study and finish those first 11 questions one day, do the second 11 questions in another study session, and do the third set of 11 questions in a different study session. It could be reading 20 pages if you have a huge reading assignment. It could be finishing one assignment just to get that one thing out of the way, so then you have less on your plate to finish overall. It could be, you have this huge paper that you need to write, and just doing research for your paper is something that could be helpful to you. So the next tip I have is reward yourself. If you've been studying for a while, reward yourself by spending time relaxing. Play that game on your smartphone, go for a walk, listen to a song that you really like, something like that. But make sure it's not like social media or Netflix based, because a lot of times, like if I'm rewarding myself with things like that, I start to go down the rabbit hole and I reward myself for way longer than I really should. So like watching one YouTube video turns into like 2 hours of watching YouTube videos, if that makes sense. So try to make it something that's not social media or Netflix based, because you can get so distracted and pulled into that rabbit hole, and that's not something you want to do when you're just supposed to be rewarding yourself for studying. My tip number 4 would be to create a routine. So what I do is every semester I write down what the requirements are going to be for my class for that semester, or session in my case. So I have 2 classes right now. I have my culture and health, and then I have my chemistry. And I have written down in my planner or on the app on my phone that I have what is due when, and big projects are put in bold or underlined or put in a square or something, or highlighted in a way so that I know that this is something important. It's something that is probably going to take up a lot of my time, and I will start working on those as soon as I'm able to. I also set up a study schedule. I don't have like a strict study schedule, but what I usually do is on the days that I work, I will study a little bit when I come home and then I relax, because I try not to overwhelm myself with everything in one day, because I only work a few days a week. So on the other days, during the week, not on the weekend, but during the week, I try to like do studying on the days that I'm off from work, because it gives me more time to focus on the subject that I'm studying. But on the weekends, I try to leave that for just relaxation, because everybody deserves to be able to relax and just enjoy life. My next tip is to use the Pomodoro Technique, and we actually learned this in my orientation class at the university that I go to, but I took a screenshot of some aspects of the Pomodoro Technique. So here's how you apply it. You use a kitchen timer, and you decide on the tasks that you're going to work on. So whether that's studying chemistry for me, or doing a reading assignment, whatever, set the timer for 25 minutes. Then you work on the task, you stop working when the timer goes off, put a check mark on a piece of paper. If you have fewer than 4 check marks, you take a 3 to 5 minute break, and then you start over from step 1. So after you have 4 check marks, take a 15 to 30 minute break, and then you draw a line through those 4 check marks and you start making new check marks. So it sounds a little confusing, but it actually helps you stick to breaking up your study into those smaller chunks that I was talking about at the beginning. So another tip that I have is to find a study group. And with the university that I go to, I actually have multiple study groups. I am a member of multiple Discord groups that are for studying and for specific classes. I am not sure if other schools do this, but if not, reach out to some classmates that you have a connection with, or just reach out to classmates in general. If you have a discussion board, you could ask, if anybody wants to do a study group. I would definitely ask your instructor though, because I know certain people at the university that I go to, certain instructors did not like when students started Discord groups to study. I'm not sure why. I think somebody brought up maybe it was like being used to share test answers and questions and things like that. So I don't know, make sure that you're following your school's policies and stuff like that. But finding a study group can definitely help, because having other people who have to study the same subject can also help you get motivation, because you know that you're not alone. My next tip would be make sure that you're scheduling enough time to just relax. Make sure that you have enough time to just enjoy life. Like I said, school is not the end all be all of everything. You definitely need to make sure that you're giving your brain enough time to relax. And that's why one of the things that I really like is those breaks in between sessions at my school, whether it's a week or 2 weeks, because your brain really needs to just relax when you've been going through so much information and covering so many different topics and studying so hard. Your brain needs a little relaxation and rest itself. And so my last tip would be to realize this is not going to last forever. You are not going to have to study this subject forever. That's what I keep telling myself with this chemistry class, because I have our second exam is next week. And after that, I have one more exam, and then this class is over with. So we are quickly approaching the time that I will finally be done with this chemistry class. Now, yes, I will have to take other chemistry classes, but I don't have to take it next term or next session. I don't have to take them right away. I'll be done with this first chemistry class, and then I never have to take this stupid class again. Not that chemistry is stupid, obviously. I know I need chemistry for different requirements of my degree, but you get what I'm saying. It's not going to last forever. You will eventually be able to not study this subject that you don't like studying, or that's just overwhelming for you or boring. You will get there. So I hope these tips were helpful. That's all I have for this video. If you guys would like more videos like this, please let me know and I'd be glad to get something filmed for you. If you have any other topics you'd like me to talk about in a future video, also let me know that as well. And I will talk to you guys next time.